If you're looking for something to do, something to do while you take a poo, then I got something for you. It's called something to do, something to do, something to do. Yeah. Hey friends, here we are, Honey Creek Acres, and this is Stumpin' to Do. Let me give you a little garden tour. I guess I'll just work my way through this. Behind the split rail fence, we've got raspberries and blueberries going. Where the flags are, those are blueberry plants. You can see they were looking a little rough earlier in the year, so we've been feeding them coffee grounds and they've been doing a lot better. You can find a random raspberry. This next garden bed is a big one. This is where we've got corn and melons. You can see our melons are going pretty good already. They're all over the place. Over here in the corner, we've got some ground cherries. You can see they're developing. We're finding melons all over the place if you kind of look closely. These are honeydews, I believe. Some cantaloupes. I think over in this corner I've got watermelons. Oh yeah, sure enough. We've got watermelons. The big one in the center, this is a pumpkin. And it's huge. And it's growing. Oh, here we go. Look at that.
We got a doozy.
For the corn this year, we decided to do 2 of the 3 sisters. If you're familiar with Native American history, it's like, corn, beans, and squash. So we've just planted corn and beans. But this is actually a bean plant. You can see the flowering here. Those are gonna be beans. I got pole beans all inside my corn. The corn is tasseled out and I'm starting to make ears. This next closest bed, this is a permanent bed. We planted with asparagus, and in each corner we've put a rhubarb plant and these big leafy ones on the edges. This is horseradish. This is our peas. We did a lot of peas this year. This whole back edge is filled with peas, and so is the back side of our cucumber trellis. We just harvested these today. Kids are up top right now shucking peas. Let me show you what that looks like.
Elliot, turn down video.
What's up? Hey. Pia Palooza.
Not this music. Not this music.
Show us how it works, Amelia. Tear it open. Oh, so smooth. Oh yeah, look at that. Peas are flying everywhere.
Look at it. Okay, watch.
Come on, no peas everywhere.
You gotta pull it.
He's got the technique.
You gotta open it, and you gotta push it.
Oh, thumb it out.
See that?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the rest of this garden bed. I've got 2 rows of carrots running right here. Some of these with the colorful tips, those are actually multicolored carrots. Row right next to it is some beans. I've got purple beans and yellow beans. We've been harvesting these for 2 weeks already. The kids just came out and picked yesterday, as you can see. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we got work to do. All right, over here with the cinder blocks, I had some head lettuce and romaine planted in there. You can see this stuff is all that's left. It's kind of gotten past us, but we just keep it in and we'll slowly pick that and feed it to the chickens. Over here was a bit of an experiment. I've got cinder blocks double stacked, and inside this is celery. All right, so this is what's helping keep the stalks nice and vertical. Let's take a peek and see what it looks like. Oh yeah. Well, that's growing nice and vertical, and it's just going to continue to go up and thicken up. Yeah, this is the part where I say I've got no shame in sharing my garden. It's hard to tell, but I've got turnips here and beets. I take that back. That wasn't beets and turnips, that was beets. Here are the turnips. Holy smokes. Look at these things.
They're huge.
This is going to be a really nice big turnip harvest. So it's like, what do you do with it? Well, we just clean them up, dice them up, vac pack them, and they're crock pot meals. You throw a bag in with stew. It's delish. Moving along, obviously we got flowers, and these are spaghetti squash. They got a nice big space, but they are all over in here, which is great. They store a very long time. And we like making, we just call it spaghetti squash pasta. Just make spaghetti like normal. Instead of noodles, you use spaghetti squash. Got a couple late season plantings here. These are kohlrabi. Oh wait, there's a Brussels sprout, another kohlrabi. This was a random tomato. I think it's a yellow slicer. It's coming in. Here's the cucumber trellis. And if we take a look around, oh yeah, we got a few cukes to pick. Sarah just pickled a couple jars yesterday. We'll have a few more to pick probably already by tomorrow. Our next big bed, we call this the transplant bed, except for this end. We've got some baby's breath planted here and some edible flowers. This is actually edamame. Almost harvest time for the edamame. This is something new we've never done before. Oh yeah, those beans got to fatten up just a little bit yet. We do have an herb garden up by the porch. We use that for immediate cooking, but out here in the garden, we're growing big sections of dill, basil, and oh, actually this is cilantro. That's what that is. Further into the transplant bed, we've got cabbages. It's almost kraut time. We've got a lot of heads that are ready to go. This thing is as big as my hand. There's a lot of them that have some good size. Purple cabbages are pretty small yet. That's okay. These are the kraut cabbages. Oh, look at this one. Oh, it's beautiful.
Holy snake. Oh my gosh. This thing is huge.
Got a small row of eggplant here in the cages. Oh, there's a nice one. That can be harvested. They're starting to come in. This is the broccoli row. We've already harvested a lot of broccoli last week. I kept some small heads in there. That one should be pulled. Oh yeah, I'm a few days late on some of these. This was broccolini. We've not hit it too much at this point. It just becomes supplemental chicken food. One big row of Brussels sprouts. Lots of peppers here. We got jalapenos. Actually, there's chilies, bananas, just all kinds of varieties. A few bell peppers back there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 rows of different peppers. Now we enter tomato land. In these back rows here, we've got some different cherry tomatoes. Here's a midnight. Ooh, a little early yet. We've got some heirlooms. Lots of heirlooms. These look pretty cool. These last, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. These are all Romas and San Marzanos. Running the tomatoes on stakes this year was a new experiment. So far, so good. I've noticed in some places, as the plant grows and matures, like here's a great example, the stake can't handle it. And by the way, this is a tomatillo. We've got 2 tomatillos. Great for salsa verde. And it's a key ingredient in my homemade guacamole. One of the saddest garden beds we've got, this is our strawberries. I don't even want to show you this. We did this all wrong, but they're in here. They're making runners, but it's just not set up right. This is another project. We're gonna work to remedy that. Our last garden bed here, this is potatoes and onions. You take a good look at these potatoes. The tops are browning. They're starting to tip. It's almost harvest time. I'm thinking next week I'm going to dig them up. The other side of this bed is onions. They're kind of weeded out, but they're still growing pretty healthy. There's some big heads in here. We've got some beautiful flowers planted here. Giant sunflowers running up the center. Medium sunflowers planted as well, along with this flower mix. Just a beautiful little flower bed. This back flower bed was planted as a perennial. So these flowers should come back every year. It was a nice wildflower mix, and they've come in very nicely. This bed here we'll till up and replant every season. Walking back away from the flowers, obviously we're into the orchard now. We've got a total of 18 trees planted, a combination of apple trees, pear trees, plum trees, cherry trees, peach trees. I don't know what I'm missing, but we've got them. Running next to the orchard, of course, we've got our vineyard. It's been all set up, built, wired, supported. The only thing here is a lot of these plants did not make it up. So we will be doing some replanting here, but as you can see, some have made it nicely. Back next to the orchard is this big swath of grass. And right here runs another one. That's the switchgrass I planted, trying to build a little bit of a natural barrier. Getting all the way to the end now. We've got the hives. You can see they're nice and active today. Should be about next week and a half, 2 weeks, I'm gonna be harvesting honey. And in the very back corners, we've got some mulberry trees planted. This one has taken off nicely. This one's growing too. Last thing we got here are a bunch of blackberry bushes and I don't know, boysenberry, gooseberry, something berries. They're all in here. These are just staging right now, still waiting to be planted. All those bushes eventually are going to be planted down this side of this property line. I'm putting a fence in, and that's going to run right down with it. Well, there you go. That's Honey Creek Acres in a nutshell. It's keeping us busy. I hope your gardens are growing just as well. Until next time, peace.